So, today we're diving into a really fascinating research proposal, and it poses a huge question. Could AI completely transform the way we teach science?
I mean, just think about that for a second. Imagine a personal tutor for every single student, one that's available 24/7, is infinitely patient, and can walk them through even the most complex ideas. That's the promise we're going to explore today.
So, why are we even talking about this? Well, it all starts with a very real, very modern problem happening in our classrooms right now.
Look, the old school model, the teacher at the front of the room, everyone just taking notes, it's just not cutting it anymore, especially for today's students who've grown up with technology. We're seeing interest in science and tech subjects drop because the teaching methods can feel a little outdated and don't always build those critical thinking skills they're going to need.
Now, the thing is, educators already have a fantastic tool to fix this. It's called the 5E Instructional Model. And instead of just lecturing, this model is all about getting students to be active investigators, to build their own knowledge. It's hands-on, it's based on asking questions, and it works.
So here's how it breaks down. It's a 5-step cycle. First, you engage the students. You got to hook them. Then they get to explore the topic for themselves. After that, they explain what they discovered, elaborate by using that new knowledge in different situations, and finally, they're evaluated to see what stuck. It's a really powerful loop. But here's the catch. That explore phase is absolutely critical. It's where the real learning happens, but it's also where students need the most one-on-one guidance. And let's be honest, in a class of 30 kids, one teacher just can't be everywhere at once. And that's the gap this whole idea is trying to fill.
Which brings us to the big idea, the proposed solution, an AI-powered teaching assistant.
And the tool for the job is what's called a pedagogical chatbot. Now, that's just a fancy term for an AI that's specifically designed to teach. It's not just a search engine, it's made to act like a real human tutor, having a conversation and offering help right when you need it. So the key takeaway here is pretty simple. This chatbot basically becomes that personal science tutor we were imagining earlier. It gives the teacher the superpower to support every single student, all at the same time.
And it really comes alive in that explore phase of the 5E model. The AI can guide students through virtual labs, asking them questions, giving them little hints, basically building a scaffold for their learning so they can figure things out on their own without just being handed the answer. And here's what that actually looks like. You can see a student is in this virtual biology lab messing with things like ion channels in a cell. They can see what happens immediately, and all the while, the chatbot is right there with them, asking questions like, hey, what did you notice when you did that? Or what do you think will happen if you try this next? Okay, so it sounds awesome in theory, right? But how do the researchers actually plan to test this out in a real school to see if it works?
Well, here's the setup. They've laid out a 12-week study with 80 high school science students. It's what's called a quasi-experimental design, which is really just a practical way to do research in a real classroom where you can't always control everything perfectly. So, they split the students into 2 groups. You've got the experimental group, 40 students who will use the 5E model with the help of the AI chatbot. And then you've got the control group, the other 40, who will learn the exact same stuff using the same 5E model, but without the AI. It's a perfect way to isolate the chatbot's real impact. And this right here is the heart of the experiment. Both groups get to use these cool interactive simulations. The only difference, the one variable they're testing, is that one group gets that conversational, step-by-step guidance from the AI tutor. So, after those 12 weeks are up, how are they going to know if the chatbot actually did anything? I mean, what does success even look like here?
It really boils down to this. The thing they're changing, the independent variable, is the teaching method, chatbot or no chatbot. And then they're measuring 2 main things. First, learning performance, which they'll track with test scores before and after, and second, student satisfaction, which they'll get from a simple 5-star rating. And that second metric is so incredibly important. For any new technology to actually be adopted in schools, it has to work for the students. It's not enough to just raise test scores. The students have to actually enjoy using it and feel like it helps them learn. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit, because if this study pans out, the implications could be huge. We could be looking at a whole new future for learning. And the researchers themselves put it perfectly. This isn't just about a new classroom gadget. This is about preparing students for a future where working alongside AI is going to be totally normal.
The ripple effects here could be massive. I mean, this could give us a real practical model for bringing AI into schools. It could free up teachers to focus on the things humans do best, like creativity and deep thinking. It'll also show us how to build better AI for education, change how we train our teachers, and of course, it'll make students way more comfortable and literate with AI.
And that really leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. If every student has an AI partner to help with the fundamentals, what does the job of the human teacher become? What are the uniquely human skills that become even more valuable in the classroom of tomorrow?